smash the like button, and subscribe.
Do you support Trump?
Yes.
Okay. If the election was held today, Harris versus Trump, who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
Okay. Why do you support Trump?
I want to ask, what do you think about the situation in the Middle East right now and Trump's role on it?
I disagree with Trump's role in it. I think that it's absolutely horrendous to get ourselves involved in another forever war on behalf of the state of
I'm
Israel.
not thinking of Iran. I'm thinking of like countries like Qatar, the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Bahrain. Their airports have been hit. Everything. What do you think of that? Like
That's going to be due to the war with Iran, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, the U.S. is hitting. Basically, the U.S. is like hitting Iran, and Iran is retaliating by hitting countries in the Middle East, like Arab countries in the Middle East.
Yeah, that are associated with and allied with the United States.
Yeah, like our military bases, like your military bases in the UAE and Doha and all these places. What do you think about that?
I've kind of already said, like, I think that that's going to be the typical response they're going to have because they can't send a missile from Iran to the United States directly.
Because it's too far.
Yeah. So they would have to have like a boat or some sort of like land that would be closer.
And what do you think the outcome of this war is going to be?
I have no clue.
Okay, anyways, I just wanted to say hello. I'm not American. I'm from Qatar.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to throw my head through the wall, chat. That's what's going to happen. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the TikTok screen.
Hi.
Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I am in my 60s.
Do you support Trump?
And I wanted to call in because you're getting so many spoof calls, and I've been watching you for a while. In the beginning of all this, I didn't vote for either side. And I have people that vote for Trump and people that vote for like Obama or whatever. But I don't understand how people can still support Trump with all that he's doing, how they can't see.
I totally agree. Beth, I really appreciate you coming
How
up.
they can't even see what's going on. It's like they're just blinded to his embezzlement and everything.
Totally agree. Well, thank you so much, Beth. I really appreciate it. I am just looking for some debates right now. Thank you very much for coming up. We are just looking for some debates right now, everybody. Only do send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
29.
Do you support Trump?
I do.
If the election were held today, Harris versus Trump, who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
Okay. And what was your birth year?
1996.
Okay. And if why do you support Donald Trump?
I think that he's really good for America.
And why so?
I think that he's getting stuff done. Actually going for it.
Okay. Like what?
Iran, Venezuela.
Okay. What is he getting done that you like?
I think there needed to be a regime change a long time ago. I don't think it's fair that they were unaliving their own people.
Well, with Venezuela, they didn't regime change. They kept the same regime in office.
Right, mostly Iran, but with Venezuela and the shrugs.
Wait, so I only care about regime change in one country but not the other?
Well, because I don't think that Venezuela was as bad as Iran with the regime.
Okay. Okay, so you think that Venezuela was a good enough regime to keep around?
Yeah. Except I definitely think Maduro needed to go.
Would you say the same thing with the Taliban?
Yeah.
So you think you think the Taliban is good, or at least good enough?
Not good. No, I wouldn't say good.
But you said that you wouldn't want to like overthrow them because Donald Trump literally set up a deal with the Taliban to pull out of Afghanistan.
Right. But no.
You don't care about the human rights abuses that happen in Afghanistan?
Of course.
Okay, so if you do care about the human rights abuses that happen in Afghanistan, why would you argue for regime change in Iran but not in Afghanistan?
I would argue for both.
So then how do you feel about Trump pulling out of Afghanistan?
I don't like it.
Okay. So you want as much regime change as you possibly can get. That's your view? So then why'd you vote for the candidate that called for no new wars?
Yeah, he said no wars. Isn't that interesting? He lied.
Yeah, but if you wanted regime change, why did you support a person that literally said this?
We will have no more wars. I'm going to keep you out of wars. I kept you out of wars. I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars. We don't need the wars. I will end the chaos in the Middle East. I will prevent World War III. We will expel the warmongers from our government. I will restore peace. Look at his rhetoric. I said, no, my rhetoric's going to keep us out of wars. We're ending wars all over this planet.
Yeah. Isn't that some shit?
Yeah, so like Why did you vote for him if you wanted regime change?
I mean, he's doing it right now in Iran. But
I know,
I
but like I'm talking about why'd you vote for him? Because you didn't know about this then, right?
right, I didn't know about this then. But I like that he's doing it now. If you want to know why I voted for him in the beginning,
he said no new wars, get the warmongers out of the government, which would be you, by the way. He wants people that hold your views out of the government under that notion,
right.
and then he gets into the government, and then he does that exactly. So now it seems like he wants
Right.
himself out of the government.
Right. Back then, I didn't like that he said no new wars, to be honest with you. I didn't agree with that part. But now that he's doing it, I agree with it.
Tina, think of the galaxy. You didn't agree with the no new wars? Now look at what we have
No.
Trump supporters saying, chat.
I mean, things need to happen. You don't agree with that, Parker?
I don't think that we needed to go to war with Iran. I think that was an unnecessary thing. I think that's on behalf of a forever war for Israel again.
Oh, yeah, I think it's for Israel.
I think
as well,
regime
too.
change has been historically very ineffective in the region and has actually led to the situations that exist right now.
I can agree with that.
Okay, so then why do you think regime change is going to fix it if it's what led to the circumstances right now?
Do you mean when we've tried to do regime change before and it turned into T groups?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it needs to be done on a consistent basis. I think someone else needs to lead from America in those other countries.
So you think America needs to be leading in the country? So
Yeah.
you think America should annex the Middle East?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I mean, they've been.
There's no way you're being
doing-
serious. You just advocated for the U.S. to annex the Middle East.
Yes, they are out of control. Do you not think that they are not out of control with their
Okay,
attacks?
so should
and-
we have a forever military police state in the Middle East controlled by the U.S.?
Yeah.
Why only in the Middle East? Why not all around the world?
Oh no, I believe all around the world. Not everywhere. I don't think everyone needs it.
So all around the world, you want to send the U.S. military and service members to go die to fight in forever conflicts in those regions to be able to maintain control over those areas and literally annex them.
I want you to rewind real quick. And you said at the beginning of that, you said that you want people to unalive for what? Say that again.
I don't quite remember. I'm kind of
Can
just
you
caught off
say
guard
that
with the
whole
fact that I'm kind of just caught off guard with the fact that you just straight up advocated to annex the entirety of the Middle East. Like you understand that's going to lead to forever wars that where we're constantly involved in spending trillions of dollars overseas.
So do you think the people in the Middle East will go against the American way forever?
I do think that if you try to literally annex the Middle East, you're going to have to go to war with the rest of the world.
Okay. Well, that's kind of what they did.
So you want the U.S. to go to World War III?
No.
U.S.
I don't
versus
want-
world.
I think we would get annihilated by certain countries if we stepped on their toes.
Okay, so then if you think that, then why do you think that we should do this?
That's a good question. I don't know. I can't answer that question.
Okay. So given that you can't answer that question, I guess why do you still support Trump?
You know, it's really hard when everyone around you supports Trump and they talk to you about what he's doing good and that everything's a lie. And then you kind of get on these debates, and I've been listening to you for a while, and you hear the opposite side, and you're like, am I being lied to?
Yeah.
But how
I
can
mean, like
you
that's
tell,
why
Parker?
that's why we need evidence to be able to differentiate between what's true and what's not, to know when people are lying to you versus when they're not lying to you.
Right, but how is it easy to decipher what's real and what's not anymore in this world?
How do you? Because we need evidence. Evidence is the way in which we decipher what's real and not.
Right, but if we have AI, like even like the Alex Pretty video, I thought was AI when he kicked the tail light, which could be misinformation. So that I don't know. I always thought that was AI. I'm like, if they can create something that good, how can we believe anything?
Things can be verified, and also AI isn't 100% perfect. You can find inconsistencies in a video that clearly demonstrate it to be AI. It's not to a point where it's 100% like you have no ability to be able to identify. We still have the ability to identify what is AI and what's not.
Okay.
But
So then
maybe
why
like
are there
maybe the
people
issue is that
believing?
typical people like who are scrolling through their For You pages might not because they don't look into it to that degree.
Yep, that's what I was gonna ask.
But that means you just need to do
So-
that extra research and critically think and then look for credible sourcing.
Okay. So I have a question. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you ever think, not just MAGA, let's say Republicans and Democrats, do you think they could ever come together to fix what's going wrong in the world right now?
I think that we're more likely to unify if we can actually hold each other's side accountable, right? And our own side accountable.
Okay.
I think
Do you
that's
think
an
there's
important
propaganda
thing.
on? Do you think there's propaganda on both sides?
Absolutely.
Okay. I do too.
Yeah. I guess, like, given that the election was held today, would you still vote for Trump over Harris?
Probably not.
Okay, well, for sure. I appreciate you coming up. Thank you very much. Let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you do meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Only do send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen, everyone. Yo, what's up? How old are you? How old are you? Alrighty, let's go to the next individual. Do just give us a quick second, everyone. Only do send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen, everyone. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Okay, we're just getting a bunch of disgusting people. Only do send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen. I accidentally just declined someone instead of accepting. Alrighty. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
18.
What's your birth year?
January 18th, 2008.
And do you support Trump?
Yes.
I just, like, don't believe them for a second. Let's go to the next individual. Only do send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
19.
Do you support Trump?
I do not, but I have a question for you.
I'm sorry, I'm just looking for some debates, everybody. Only do send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen, everybody. Alrighty, do just give it a quick second, everyone. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 26.
Do you support Trump?
Yes.
What's your birth year?
1999.
If the election were held today, Harris versus Trump, who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
Okay, why do you support Trump?
Yeah, it's more of a fear of communism, which I believe that the left is trying to push.
Can you define communism?
Yeah, it's where the workers own the means of production.
Communism is a stateless, classless, moneyless society. Socialism
That's
is when the workers control the means of
utopian of a view
production.
for me. I know that's what it is.
Socialism is when the workers control the means of production, and I'm not advocating for socialism.
So under communism, the workers would not own the means of production.
They would be public ownership of the means of production. That's part of it, but it's also a stateless, classless, moneyless society.
I don't believe that's what most communists would say. That I believe that's more utopian for me.
That's exactly what communists would say. So, would you like to actually, like, engage with what I had to say?
Yeah, I just don't know why you would not support everyone having their basic needs met.
I do support everyone having their basic
No,
needs met.
actually, you don't. You don't support abolishing private property.
Are you a socialist?
Are you gonna run?
Are you a socialist? So we can still provide to people their basic needs without abolishing all of private property.
How? How is
How?
How are
By
people gonna
by
afford
providing
houses?
social safety nets for access to healthcare, childcare, housing affordability, and we can still have private markets outside of that context. Are you saying that
Yeah,
we can't
so-
have private markets in the context of, for example, clothing, if it is the case that we have every other need met?
Yeah. So with that view and with what you want to do, where
Can
there
you
would
answer
be
that question
people
directly, please?
Yeah, there's still gonna be people that are left without.
That just makes no sense. If you establish that everyone as a baseline is given a due standard of care, and then you can say there's a market on top of that due standard of care, explain to me how that's not establishing a basic need for people. You just don't
Yeah,
understand how the
because-
system works, and you're straw manning it.
No, I do.
Well, then
So
explain.
that-
Explain. How can you not establish a due standard of care and say that there's a private market on top of that?
And explain
Like, that's what
you
minimum
believe-
wage is. That's what minimum wage is. We put a
explain
minimum
what you-
wage.
Explain what you believe to be a due standard of care.
Yeah, like a due standard of care is to establish that everyone's basic needs are met, right? And then
And how would
establishing
we do
based
that
upon
under
that,
capitalism?
once we have everyone's needs met, we can also have a private market on top of that.
Yeah, and will that allow for everyone to have a house?
Yeah, I think everyone should have a house. Everyone should have housing.
Yeah, so why do you support Kamala? She wouldn't have supported
wait.
that.
Okay, wait. So I think it makes things better. I'm not saying 100%, 100% align with Kamala Harris. I'm saying that it's preferable. Do you not support harm reduction?
Liberals love to say that all the time. That harm reduction.
No.
Oh,
This
we
isn't
should-
just liberals. Left-wing people who are leftists also say this as well. You're just a unique type of person on the left that doesn't give a shit about other people and isn't willing to vote to reduce harm.
Yeah, you're also the person that supports.
You'd
police.
rather
That's-
support the couch over reducing harm.
No, we should.
Did you
we should
vote in 2024?
organize.
Who'd you vote for?
I didn't vote for anyone.
Oh, no wonder. You sat on the couch and you did nothing. And then
Yeah,
look at
I
the
had to be
country that you live in right now.
organized.
Right now, less people have access to health insurance, less people have access to food stamps, people have access to basic things they need, while you're saying that you're supporting people's access to basic things they need to a greater extent.
Yes, because we should
Embarrassing,
organize in
laughable.
communities.
Embarrassing and laughable. How can you argue that while you're simultaneously picking the couch over protecting people's access to healthcare and childcare? What state do you live in?
Yeah, I'm actually not doing that.
What state do you live in?
What state do I live in?
Yeah.
Tennessee.
Tennessee. So you
Yeah.
live in an area in which it would be relevant to vote.
How would it be relevant to vote? When have liberals?
What do you mean? How would it be relevant to vote? You understand that it's relevant to vote specifically in Tennessee right now, right? In terms of the elections, And if we get more people, we could change their minds over time. And especially in a red state, we're going to have restricted access to these things. Your state won't provide as much social services and benefits comparative to other states. Maddie, thank you so much to the Future City. So you're okay with people around you losing access to services to a greater extent because you're unwilling to vote for the lesser evil, under your view?
When have liberals supported abolishing ICE, abolishing private property, abolishing the police?
They don't need to support abolishing private property to be better or to be the harm reduction candidate.
Yes, that's still not going to allow everyone to have their basic.
So wait, you won't support any politician unless they support abolishing private property?
Yes.
So you wouldn't support Bernie Sanders over Donald Trump?
No.
You're so ineffective, dude. I'm just gonna go to the next person, chat. Like that's how embarrassing these people are, dude. Like literally, they won't even accept universal health care, child care, housing affordability, and like basic needs being met to a significantly greater extent comparative to Donald Trump because they don't support 100% abolishing private property. Like, do you realize how ineffective you are as a person for having that view? Like, you do nothing in our society, literally, for having that view in terms of voting. Maddie, I push the galaxy. You can do other things. You could benefit your community in other ways. But in terms of the context of voting, you are literally doing nothing when you can be doing something that would benefit people around you. How old are you?
Hello, sir. 65.
Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria. List on the TikTok screen right now. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Let's get this next person up here. We don't have many debates right now. It's really brutal in terms of the debates right now. I think it's, you know what it was, chat? It's because we had a flag and I just got the appeal approved like a second ago. And that likely is the explanation. I got a flag and I forgot. And yeah, that's probably why it wasn't sending out there for a second. Yo, what's up? How old are you? And that's why we were getting a bunch of trolls. So that's actually probably the explanation. I was wondering why it was so weird today. I don't even know what it was for. It was something stupid though. Jackie, by the way, thank you for the $2. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Jennifer, thank you so much for the $10. Oh, good to see you. Thank you so much. Hopefully soon I will. Thank you. Thank you. Susan, thank you for the $50. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. They said, hey, Sweet Pea still owes you money from a bet regarding Trump's 34 felonies. Really? That's actually hilarious. I forgot about that. Shari, thank you so much. Really appreciate the dollar. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, no, I mean, I've definitely heard reporting on that. Obviously, I can't say anything unless I have verifiable evidence for the people, but there definitely is something going on there. As well as Paige, thank you for the dollar for the Lenny love. Thank you. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Parker, what's your favorite brand of tractor?
And I'll have to look it up, Paige. I'll have to look it up, Paige. I don't really know different brands of tractors. Sky, thank you for the $10. Thank you very much. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yo, what's up?
Do you support Trump?
I do.
If the election were held today, Harris versus Trump, who would you rather vote for?
Probably Trump.
You have a little bit of background noise. Is the way you can fix that real quick? Like it's like myself. I hear a little bit of echo.
Sorry.
Okay, let's go to the next individual. Only do send a guest request if you meet that criteria in the TikTok screen.
Yo, debate my grandpa. Can you debate my grandpa?
How old are you though?
I'm 19.
Okay, and what's your birth year?
2007.
Okay, and what month? Perfect. All right, for sure. I'll debate them.
My birthday was in 1949, so I'm old enough.
Oh yeah, no, I believe that. I just need to make sure because people can click on. I'm pretty sure your grandson's account. So.
I'm
yeah.
not a TikToker. I'm not used to this. First time I've ever done this. But my grandson said you're talking about Trump, and he tries to egg me on about Trump frequently, and so I'm a Trump fan. I'm an old guy, and Trump is the first presidential candidate I ever donated money to. So for me, I'm not a rich guy, so that's a big deal. I think a lot of him. I know he's had personal problems in his lifestyle. Some of his lifestyle things are not the same as mine. I'm a Latter-day Saint, very active in my church, and so I don't necessarily stand for some of the things that he might have, especially in his youth. But like Cyrus, I believe he's the guy for the time.
Okay. So, like, is there any policies of Trump's that you like in specific?
Well, I especially like that he's going into Iran.
Okay.
Being an old guy, I've seen the last 47 years of what Iran has done. And it's been very disappointing to me that this country has just let it happen. It really hurts me to know that, fortunately, nobody I know was over there when they blew up the place, the embassy or where they were. So that's a good thing. But I did have friends in the service that didn't make it out, and so I have a great deal of compassion for them. So this is great. I also do not believe that men who want to be women, and I don't care if they want to be women, that's their business, but they shouldn't be able to compete in sports against real women.
Okay. Well, I
So
do think
that's a big deal.
I do think that trans women are women, and that there's essentially no trans women that are dominating in women's sports. And after multiple years of HRT, there's no real reason to say that in that circumstance that they should be restricted from playing. There's really no impact on society as a whole. Like,
Well,
there's
you're
really no
mistaken.
examples of trans women you'd be able to point to that are dominating in women's sports.
That's not true.
Can you give me
are
two
many
examples?
Well, unfortunately, I cannot. I'm not at a computer where I can look it up, but there are a number of college athletes and even some high school athletes who have lost first place because a trans woman took that from them.
Yeah, but like I don't think people can ever name circumstances when they say that this is true. And like these are not affected by national policies. Like when Donald Trump never instituted a policy that specifically would have affected this, Harris wasn't going to pass a policy on this. This is local jurisdiction. This is the specific like sports commissions that will deal with the determinations in terms of whether or not they want policies on this. Private companies will do that. It's not going to be the federal government, right? Like that's not something that really affects things, like in terms of a federal
Well,
government
right
standpoint.
now-
So I don't understand how voting for Trump versus Harris is going to affect anything differently in terms of sports in this country.
Right now, Trump is pushing a bill called the SAFE Act that is also including no mutilation of children under the 18 to change their sex, and no men.
Yeah, no one's
who are
advocating for surgery
transgender-
for children.
Say what?
No one's advocating for surgery for children. But can I ask you this question real quick? If a man like walked into the changing rooms of naked women while they're changing without their consent, would you say that you would ever vote for them for president if you knew that they have done this?
I don't know. That's not something I'm really prepared to answer the question of.
Like
I
for
know
example,
Trump- I
if you
know
knew
Trump-
that Donald Trump himself, like say for example, bragged about walking into the changing rooms of naked women while they're changing without their consent, would you say that would be a reason to stop supporting Trump?
my first top of the answer is no, I would not. I don't believe he's done that, but I have watched him for the last 10 years, what he has done, and that's what I'm basing everything on.
Okay. So even if Donald Trump has literally sexually exploited women directly himself and admitted to it, you'd still support him. So I guess like it's not like you're trying to protect women here specifically with these policies. So I guess like what specific policies do you like of his that he's influenced to get passed that say have benefited your life or like people in general?
Well, for one thing, I'm old, and he has cleaned up in his first term. I'm sorry, I spilled a bunch of stuff on the floor, so I'm cleaning it up as I'm talking to you.
You're good.
In his first term, he fixed the VA system, the VA hospital system. It's wonderful. You can't believe how good it is now to go to the VA. It's simply amazing. He has strengthened our military. Now, I'm ex-military. I'm a veteran. So I have some appreciation for protecting our soldiers with the best weapons that are possible to have. I want that for our soldiers. So that's another thing that I'm into. I like very much the fact that he has cut taxes on Social Security. Now, I loved Reagan. I voted for Reagan. I went to some of his rallies. I thought he was a great guy. A lot of people that hated him ended up loving him before he got out. So there's a lot of people that changed over time. One of the things that Reagan did was strengthened our military. After Reagan, however, there were a number of people who decimated our military by letting it go to pot. And so I'm thrilled that has changed. That's another very positive thing in my opinion.
Okay. Can I address those 2 points here real quick? 3 points actually. So the first point, I don't think that Trump fixed the VA. I think that since he's got in office that he's actively defunded the VA by cutting the amount of people specifically employed at the VA, reducing the level of care. Now that could have possibly not affected your particular area or your level of care, I guess, but seemingly it's impacted plenty of other veterans. I've talked to veterans myself, and they've talked about the issues that exist with the VA system that still are prevalent to this day that haven't been fixed. So I don't think that Trump completely fixed the VA system. I believe that there needs to be a complete overhaul of healthcare access in this country. There should be universal access to healthcare. No one should even have to worry about it. No copays, no deductibles, no premiums. And that system would be cheaper because of the fact that there would literally be precautionary measures where people specifically are more likely to get checks, all right, for their health, screenings for their health, which means that we're going to be able to address health conditions earlier rather than later, which significantly reduces the cost of healthcare.
That sounds really nice, but the two countries that we are very familiar with who have done that, Canada and England. In England, it takes a year to get an appointment. In Canada,
That's just not true. It's not a year for every appointment.
I was stationed there. I know exactly what it is. Okay, I've been there.
It's not on average a year to get an appointment in the UK.
Well, it depends on the appointment.
Yeah, exactly.
If you need a knee replacement, it takes over a year. In Canada, it takes more than 6 months.
Okay, so for the elective wait time, the median waiting time is 13.4 weeks for elective treatment. For emergency, it's 2 hours and 37 minutes, or A&E waiting times, and cancer treatment waiting times for the median is 13.6 weeks. So although you could say that there is some basis of saying that like there could be longer wait times, that's because more people are getting access to care, and there's still something that we can do to expedite that by expanding access to the amount of people specifically who are in these fields, working as a doctor, a nurse, or a medical professional in general, right, that would be able to provide broader access to care.
Well, who doesn't get emergency care now?
What are you saying? Who doesn't get emergency care?
Who in this country, who in the United States does not get emergency care now?
Well, you can get emergency care directly when you need it, but what you're not understanding is that people don't get preventative health care, and the cost adds up in terms of debt. So you understand that we have to pay for it, inevitably speaking.
So who pays for it?
The person.
Okay.
I think that it should be paid for by our government.
But there's no such thing as the government. It's the people.
Well, the government is controlled controlled by the people. Sure, you could say that.
But the people are the ones who pays for it. And
yeah, of course, taxation.
Yes. And so what you're advocating is that the people who are willing or able to work pay for those who are unwilling or unable to work. Now,
well, the reality of the matter is that you're okay with doing that for public roads. You're okay with doing that for K through 12 education systems. And I'm just saying that this is an extension of these things.
No, I'm not.
So you don't think there should be taxes to pay for public roads and for education systems?
The taxation for public roads is done with gasoline tax. The people that use the roads pay for the roads. The people who own property and pay for the property pay property taxes that go to pay for schools. People who own homes have children. That's who pays for it.
You know that there's federal funds for highways and for infrastructure. It's not just going to be through the context of local gasoline taxes.
No. It's not local gasoline tax. It's federal gasoline tax pays for federal roads.
So it's not 100% because, for example, the bipartisan infrastructure bill, there's plenty of roads, bridges, and infrastructure that was funded specifically, and that's not necessarily through that same funding mechanism.
Well, I will agree that the government spends more than just the gasoline tax on roads.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. So it's not just the gasoline tax. So the point that I'm making is that, again, there are plenty of taxes that you believe should exist to ensure that we have adequate access to roads, adequate access to basic services that everyone has the ability to use, regardless of how much they've worked.
No, everyone doesn't have access to the roads. Only people who have cars. Only people who have cars have access.
Does everyone get an education?
If they want to, they can get up to a 12th grade education.
There you go. So in either circumstances, it's whether they want to, right, rather than like limiting it otherwise. And you know that people can have like a bike, or they can walk on public sidewalks or take public transit.
Most sidewalks,
they can be a passenger,
are not built by government. The vast majority are not built by government.
The vast majority of what?
I'm sorry, I have a cough. I had a drink around, but it has disappeared.
Oh, you're good. Don't worry.
The vast majority of sidewalks are from the property owners of the people that own the property next to the street. And in towns and cities, it's the same way. When you build a property or own a property, you have to maintain the sidewalk in front of your property. You even have to shovel the snow off of it.
I think that depends area. It depends. I mean, if you look up from Legal Clarity, they say that public sidewalks are primarily not from homes and that they're typically owned by local governments or municipalities and are part of public right-of-way.
Somebody has misinformed them totally. The vast majority of sidewalks are created by homeowners and property owners and maintained by the same people. There are municipalities that maintain some sidewalks. That's true. But that's not the majority by a long stretch.
And do you have like a source for that, or is this like a claim that you're making?
I've been around for 76 years. I've paid taxes for all but 15 or 16. No, I got my first job when I was 14. So since 60 of those years, I've paid taxes, and I watch where my money goes.
Okay. That's still not a source just because you've been around for 76 years. To be honest, like there are people in the chat that agree with me that are older than you.
Well, I can't help it.
Of course, it depends on the area is the point I would make.
There are some municipalities that do more than others. That's true. But for neighborhoods and any place where you build property on a road, almost every place that I've been, and I've lived in many of them, you have to provide a sidewalk. It's just part of the deal.
Okay, so I mean, I think that could be specifically where you've lived, but not necessarily representative of everyone else or everyone else's experience or what it is typically in the United States. It could be very hyper-specific to the area that you're in.
We're talking about the majority of people. Yeah, there's some people that don't get cancer no matter what happens. There's some people that never get sick no matter what happens.
If we're talking about the majority of people... Wait, if we're talking about the majority of people, look at the comment section. Majority of people are agreeing with me in the comment.
That doesn't mean a thing. That's just who you have on right now.
They're biased, definitely. I don't think you can use that.
You could say that. You could say that, but the point that I'm making is that like you can't just base it upon anecdotes because the anecdotes are going to depend based upon that person's experience and how it could be biased. Isn't that evidence that the personal experience that you're describing to me is then going to be biased? If you're not willing to accept the chat or other people's experiences in the chat, couldn't we say the same thing about your personal experience?
My personal experiences are very demonstrative to me and informative to me. And
how does that distinct that from other people? Like, that's my point, is that like couldn't we say that it's biased to your particular area, to where you've been, and not what's true for the majority of the country?
Generally speaking, people who are wise will listen to people who are older and have more experience. That's called wisdom. And usually we associate wisdom with age. And so the more experience you have, the more wisdom you generally have. Now, it's not always the case. We look at Kamala Harris. I don't think she has much wisdom.
I think she has much more wisdom than you.
Well,
okay, well, like, to be honest, you didn't take into account what I said there because I'm younger than you. People who have wisdom can realize that someone younger than you can have an identification of something true, independent of the fact that they're younger than you. So I might have experiences that limit me from understanding certain things, but when you're talking about a source here for an evidence about a claim for the average person, it's not just based upon your experience. Your own experience is very good at telling me what your own experience has been like. But it's not very good at describing what everyone's experience has been like in the country. So you can't make a general claim on average of a majority of places it's like this because of the fact that you've experienced it like this in the areas that you've been in. That doesn't necessarily follow. Can it be the case that it could in some circumstances follow? Sure, but it's not going to be the case that it necessarily follows, and it's not going to serve as good evidence either. That's why we rely on empirical evidence to be able to justify things like that.
Yeah, there's nobody whose experience is perfect in all matters. And there's obviously the people you talk to are biased for what they see or feel. And I am too. Having been around a long time, and I'm a news junkie. I don't follow the mainstream media. I read and read and read. And therefore, I have a lot of insights that some people don't have. And had I known my grandson was going to put me on with you, I would have looked up a few facts for you to chew on. But I haven't done that, so I can't bring facts to you. But the fact is, Obamacare has helped the insurance companies more than it has helped the uninsured.
Okay. So, well, what my point would be is that that's just not true. I definitely think that people have gotten expanded access to health insurance, especially those that have pre-existing health conditions through the ACA, and even children through the context of the fact that they'd be 26 because of this. And then also, like, I don't think the ACA is perfect. I think it needs to be expanded to a universal healthcare system because countries around the world, like for example, you mentioned Canada and the UK, they actually spend almost half as much per individual as we do on healthcare expenditure, and they have better health outcomes than we do. So
They do
I think
not
that we
have
would
better
actually,
health outcome.
they do
When
actually.
people, okay, I had a company that worked with a company in Toronto. When they had serious problems, where do you think they went to the doctor? They left Canada and came to the United States because they could see a doctor right away and they could get into a better hospital, even though they had to pay for it.
Well, I think that there are countless people specifically that will go from the US to Canada because they can't afford their insulin, or because they can't afford basic surgery, or because they can't afford basic things that they need. So I think that there's a lot of people that we could point to in terms of anecdotal experiences that would do the exact opposite. So that's not evidence of a general claim of whether or not it's going to be cheaper in one area versus or better in one area versus the other. It's going to be depending on the circumstance. I think clearly, like, it's going to be, cheaper, more accessible in the context of Canada. But if you have the ability to pay, you're going to be able to get better access to specialized stuff probably here in the United States and quicker. Why? Because of the fact that in the United States, it's pay to play. In Canada, right, people are judged and based upon severity and need to a greater extent.
I don't know who told you here that one class of people gets better care than another. It's not true.
It is true. It's an objective fact.
Hospitals are not allowed to differentiate whether it's a paying customer or a non-paying customer.
Okay, well, like if you can pay more, you can go to better hospitals. If you can pay more, you can go to more specialized doctors. If you can pay more, you can cut the line. Like, I mean, that's just facts.
But most people cannot and will not do that. We all, for the most part, get the same care. We all get the same care.
I don't think that we all get the same care. I think that there's a two-tiered system for those that are rich versus those that have lesser access.
And why do you think that?
Why? Why? Because of the fact that I've not only, based upon your argument, seen it myself in terms of anecdotal experience, but also because the data reflects that.
So where did you get bad care?
Where did I get bad care?
Yeah.
Well, I would say that I've got good care throughout my life because I've been able to get access to it and afford it because my parents have been well off.
Okay, so who do you know that hasn't gotten good care?
People specifically who have had a lack of access to be able to afford it in this country. I know countless people directly who have been my friends and people I've known who have had horrible care because of lack of access to be able to pay for it.
If you can't afford it, it's free.
It's not free.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. We don't have a universal free access to healthcare in this country. That's just not true.
We don't have universal, but we have free care for poor people.
Did you know most personal bankruptcies are due to the fact that people can't pay their medical expenses?
I don't know that. I know that medical expenses are problematic, but for the most part, that's not poor people. That's people who are wealthy and have try to take care of it without.
We're talking bankruptcy, so I definitely disagree with you there. Like, I definitely do think that we're talking about people specifically who have a lack of the ability to afford the health care in this situation because it's incredibly unaffordable in this country. I mean, have you had experiences with, like, taking an ambulance ride and it being thousands of dollars before? For just a few minutes?
I have ridden in an ambulance.
And it costs thousands of dollars?
It depends. If you get a private ambulance, you might have to spend a lot, but if you get a municipal ambulance, it's usually about $50 to start, and maybe it'll be $150.
And I don't think you get to choose when we're talking about in the ambulance situation. It's kind of just whoever's there.
That's not true at all. You call an ambulance.
Well, you understand that if you call 911 for people, and they send out an ambulance, you don't really get a choice there. And not every place around the U.S. is going to have that cheap of access to it. Like before, I've literally had an ambulance ride that was just a few minutes that happened to be thousands of dollars.
Well, for the most part, I don't know where you live and how that happened. For the most part, when you call 911, you get a municipal ambulance, and those are very
Yeah,
inexpensive.
because
compared
when I'm incapacitated, I'm going to definitely ask them to ensure that.
If you call 911,
Yeah.
you get a municipal ambulance. You don't
Yep,
get a
and I'm
private.
going to make sure while I'm incapacitated to let the person know who's calling the 911 that they should do that.
You don't
Barbie
have
JL,
to.
thank you so much for the galaxy.
It happens automatically.
Okay,
If you
well
call
then I
911,
wonder why it was so expensive for all of us.
well, you must not have got your ride through 911. How did you
Oh,
get
definitely
your ambulance
didn't.
ride?
Definitely didn't. Yeah.
Definitely did not, or you definitely did?
He's being sarcastic.
Yeah, I was being sarcastic. Like it's dependent upon the area in the like that you are. Like some places don't have those municipalities that make it extremely cheap, right? And also like we're talking about the fact that nowhere in no context should it cost that much for someone to be able to get access to literally just being taken to the hospital. Okay? People shouldn't have to think about whether or not they're going to order a ride-sharing app, right, to be able to get to the hospital, right, rather than specifically going in the ambulance.
For instance, if you have Passport, which people who are low income have Passport, the ambulance ride is free, totally free, except somebody has to pay for it. Who pays for it?
Yeah, they do. What?
No, they
If
don't.
you said
If
you
you
said
have
it's
Passport,
free.
they don't. It's free to the Passport person. They pay. They don't pay anything. Somebody pays for it.
I've never heard of this before.
Well, that's just because you haven't heard of it. It's the way it
If you're
is.
young and inexperienced.
Oh, for sure, yeah, man.
I have a son that just walked in, and he said that, and he knows for sure. So that's one thing. We don't have a problem with poor
Yeah,
people.
next
not
time I
having
go
health.
into an ambulance ride, I'm just gonna be like, "Yo, dude, I got my passport on me," and I'm gonna show them that.
No. You don't know what Passport is, I guess. It's a health card that the government gives low-income people, where they don't have to pay for their medical or dental.
Oh, you're referencing. Okay, sorry, you're referencing not someone's passport. You're referencing passport. Okay, sorry, I apologize.
Yeah.
I was like, I for a second there, I thought you were saying that someone could just show their passport. I was like, what are you talking about? I apologize. I know what you're referencing.
So we don't have
yeah,
a
that's-
problem with poor people not getting health care. We have a problem with.
It is. We do. We definitely do have a limited access to that because it depends on the state in access to Medicaid and our social services, which, by the way, Republicans not only do they want to cut, but also Donald Trump, through the big, beautiful bill, has actively cut himself. 10 million people off their access to health insurance through Medicaid, 2.5 million people off their access to every single month on average to food stamps, and over 420,000 children on average every single month off their access to free school lunch and breakfast.
Okay. So at what income level do you think people should be on food stamps?
I'd have to check. It depends on area. That's state dependent. That's like district
Well,
and area
give me an
dependent.
idea for an average.
I was like, if someone doesn't have the ability to afford their basic needs in a certain area, it obviously it's too area dependent to be able to make a general claim like that, I think.
So if somebody has cable TV, a late model car, a motorcycle, and a boat, should they get food stamps?
If they have a motorcycle and a boat, I mean,
And
is
a
it like an
car.
old motorcycle, an old boat? Like, what are you talking about?
Okay, if you can afford the finer things of life, should they be getting food stamps?
Finer things in life. Yeah, if you're super luxury, if you're top 1%, you should not be getting food stamps.
Well, where do you want to draw the line?
Where do I want to draw the, I mean, in terms of income? Again,
Yeah.
it depends on the area. Like, I don't think I can make a general claim about the entirety of the U.S. Now, there could be some low bar that would exist as a federal standpoint, right? That specifically would be then as an income justifier for this, but it would be dependent based upon certain states and, larger cities, things like that, where the cost of living is higher.
Well, what Mr.
It's dependent
Trump
on
did,
whatever is a living income in the area.
well, and that, of course, is a debatable thing. I like to play a piano, so I have to have a piano. I'm a photographer. I like to have a nice camera. So my basic income.
Well, I'm not
would
saying that
include
we
those
should
necessities.
provide people pianos through the federal government. That's not my argument.
Why not?
Actually, that's what Pete Hegseth did. They spent $100,000 on giving a person in the who was like a chief of staff a $100,000 piano, right, through the Department of Defense. When they spent, I think it was $94 billion in 1 month, including like
and you
$6.9
understand-
million of lobster tails.
And you understand that government has cut, two-thirds, 3/4 of a million people out of jobs in the government. We reduced the number of people, and we're doing the same work.
Including the VA, which you said that is something Trump fixed, but that reduces care and access to the VA.
Yeah, there were people in the VA that didn't do anything.
There are people in the
And so now
VA that didn't do
the
anything.
care, you
So
asked
we're talking. We're not just talking about people that didn't. They didn't just fire people that literally like sat in a room and looked at a wall. That's not what they did.
Yeah, basically they did. They were paper pushers.
No.
You talk to some people that use the VA. It's better now than it has ever been.
Well, for everyone specifically on the VA in the chat, do you agree or disagree? And you're gonna be like, oh, well, they're biased. Okay.
What? They disagree?
No, I said that earlier probably because they support you. I agree with you, like, on the majority of stuff. I'm just saying, like, you can't really use your chat as a source to definitively say something because obviously most of them are going to be your fans.
Yeah, but doesn't that make sense that he can't just use himself as a source because then his experience could be biased to his own experience?
No,
Whereas
agree
other
with
people
that.
could have
I'm
different
saying
experiences. Like, you could say the same thing about him ideologically speaking. That's the
let's
point
talk
I'm
to some
making.
people. So do you have other veterans online right now?
Like, they're not on the live with us talking to us, but they're in the comment section saying, yes, that they disagree with you, that it's not better, that things have gotten worse.
I'm not saying that they're doing
They're
this.
veterans?
They could be lying. You have no way to verify it. They could just be saying that because they want you to win the argument. I'm not at all like trying to side with him or even win the situation.
Well,
I'm just
then
saying.
you can go click on their particular accounts. I mean, there are legitimate veterans in the chat. Like, if you don't believe anyone's a legitimate veteran in the chat that disagrees, I don't know how to explain it to you. Like, I can actively show you how the VA has reduced access to care. So although it's not impacting you in a specific area, doesn't mean it's not impacting other people. We do know that it's impacting somebody is the point we're making.
No, as a matter of fact, Mr. Trump has changed it so that if you don't get care within 3 weeks, you can go outside to any hospital, any doctor you want to go to, and you're allowed to do that several times a year if you need to. So there's the comparison of care to what it used to be to what it is now. It is incomparable.
Okay.
It's much, much better.
Okay. So, and what did Trump do to make it better?
He allowed veterans to go outside of the VA system if
so
they
that's it?
needed to. That's just
So
one item.
allowing you to go out of the VA
That's a
system
huge
isn't
item.
helping the VA system.
I don't know that it's helping the VA system. It's helping veterans, though.
Were you saying before, under Biden's administration, you were not able to do
I
that?
had to wait many weeks to get in to do so. And that was typical for all veterans.
Wait, but like, could you have gone to private health care?
No.
Okay. Well, so you're saying the VA Choice Act, right?
Well, they don't call it choice anymore. They have another name for it. They did have the Choice Act before, but you had to go to
Can
the
you
VA
tell me what year
first.
that was signed into law?
Let me finish. The way it used to be, you could still go outside if you went to the VA first, and they couldn't take care of it.
Okay. Well, the VA Choice Act was from 2014 under Obama.
Yeah, but it is so changed now. I don't have to go to VA first. I
Yeah.
can go.
So that was actually Obama that did that, not Trump. Did you know
The
that?
Choice Act.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was
That
a
allowed veterans to receive care from non-VA providers.
yes. If the VA stated that they couldn't do it,
Okay. So you understand that that was actually like implemented originally by the Obama administration?
it has been dramatically expanded under Mr. Trump.
So the Mission
Dramatically.
Act
There's
of
no comparison.
2018 did pass, and that's a good thing. And I don't dispute you there. But then he's rolled back a lot of that when cutting the VA. And then also, like, I just don't understand how you're arguing that he's making the conditions better when originally it was set up by Obama. It sounds like the Democrats are willing to expand access to this, if not more. Like, what about the Honoring Our Pact Act in 2022?
You're making an invalid argument. Wilbur Wright made the first airplane, but he did not make the airplane that I flew home on Thursday. So it's different. It's better now than it was before. I will still give credit to Mr. Wright for what he did. That's wonderful, but it's not the same. So let me ask you another question about, since you bring up Mr. Obama. Were you supportive of that $50 billion in cash on a C5 Galaxy that he took to Iran?
What?
Was that a good thing?
$150 billion in C4 to Iran?
No. A C5 airplane, Galaxy. He took on pallets $150 billion, mostly $100 bills, to Iran in order to try to appease them to keep them from building a nuclear weapon.
No, so you're thinking about the sanctions that we placed upon their country that gave them back their
No, I'm
own
not thinking
money.
about the sanctions. I'm not
Yeah,
thinking about
so
sanctions at all.
we didn't give them money. That was their own money, and we just removed the sanctions.
No, we did remove the ability for them to get their own money, but we gave them out of tax dollars $150 billion of our money in
I don't
order
think
to
that's
appease
true.
them. Well, it is true.
Can you
Ten
this is
years
another one of
ago,
those situations
wow,
where
wow.
I ask for a source because I don't think that that's a legitimately true claim, and then you're gonna claim, oh, I'm not. I would have looked it up if I could have prior. I don't have a source to justify that right now, and right now I'm just gonna say like I don't believe that at all.
He's looking it up right now. Hold on.
Okay, for sure.
I bet I'm still gonna get 500 like comments on my because they're gonna think it was me because people are gonna join late.
You probably will. I apologize for that, by the way.
No, you're good.
In the meantime, while you're looking that up, I'll thank some people in the meantime while we do so. You just give me a quick second, everybody. Let me do so real quick. If you're on YouTube, everyone hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. Helps get it out to more people as always. Let me thank some people over on YouTube and on Venmo and PayPal, and then we can continue on with this conversation. Again, if you're on TikTok, tap that screen. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. We'll try to get to 500,000 likes here on the TikTok. And if you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. Let's get to 2,000 likes if we can. Matthew, thank you so much for the $20. Thank you. This is my Marine, 2008 to 2017. And no, the hell it is not. I live in VA and have had an accident a month ago and called 911 and got an ambulance bill for $1,500. Well, thank you so much, Matthew. I really appreciate it. Thank you. W's for Matthew in the comment section. Trey, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $5 as well. Thank you. They said it's not true that their money's from sanctions we set, and in return we had control over their production of nuclear materials. Yeah, we surveillance over their nuclear enrichment facilities, exactly. As well as thank you very much to FDR. Thank you so much for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Trevor, thank you for the $5. Thank you very much. Give some W's for Trevor in the comment section right now. Winkle, thank you so much for the £5 as well. Thank you. I know I was doing it in record time. Grateful, thank you so much for the $10. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I do need to do it. People are telling me I need to replace that Christmas tree. I will. I apologize. I keep just forgetting to do so. Brand, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $2. Thank you. Abracus, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yes, that's very true. Volgirl, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. You said VAs are different in different areas. I'm from Memphis. Memphis had a good VA. My dad went there as a while. The VA is still bad. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Well, thank you so much, Volgirl. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Zachary as well. Thank you for the $10. Thank you very much. The VA is great if you're elderly. If you are like my partner, who is a 30-year-old female vet, then the care is an insult, even in comparison to the healthcare standards for the rest of the U.S. Well, thank you so much, Zachary. I appreciate it. Thank you. Steeler, thank you so much for the $5 as well. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. They said I needed open heart surgery for 3 years before I got it because I had no insurance. They kept stenting my heart when I needed bypass. I'm so sorry to hear that. That's absolutely crazy. As well as a girl has no name. Thank you so much for the $5 as well. Thank you. Give some W's for them in the comment section. Thank you very much. As well as Trevor, thank you for the $5. Thank you very much. Asteroid, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $10. Said I've been a RN for 21 years. This guy's Zero Day he's talking about. Plus the passport is Ohio specific and 60 plus only. This guy is spreading misinformation. Well, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you so much for the $10 as well. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Hope so as well. Ben, thank you for the $5. And thank you so much, Tommy. Thank you for the $10. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Very true. As well as I have some people to thank over on PayPal and Venmo. Flower Girl, thank you for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Some W's for them in the comment section right now. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Sammy, thank you for the $10. Thank you so much. They said, also Marine here, 75,000 cut jobs to the VA helps nobody and screws over who they says they were doing nothing. Well, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you. They said it's lower pay than private and people work at the VA to give back to those of us who have served. Well, thank you so much, Sammy. I really appreciate it. Thank you. As well as Yvonne, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you very much. Of course, I always will. Sarah, thank you for the $3. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Thank you. They said they needed a ambulance transport on 2 separate occasions, one from one hospital to another, 15-minute drive each time, $2,000 each. It's absolutely crazy. And they said that and other cancer-related issues, I had to file bankruptcy. Well, thank you so much, Sarah. I really appreciate it. Thank you. That's absolutely insane. I'm so sorry to hear that. Can we some W's for Sarah in the comment section right now? So is Malachi. Thank you so much for the $3. Selena, thank you so much for the $7. Thank you very much. Sky, I really appreciate the $10. Thank you very much. Cody, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you. They said my father's a Vietnam vet and has been in the hospital for 2 weeks and had to fight to get the VA to cover his stay, despite the fact that we took him to the hospital. The VA covers. You can't just go to any doctor or hospital. You have to go to a system they work with. Very true. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm so sorry to hear that. It's absolutely insane. Thank you so much. As well as James, thank you for the $25 on PayPal. Thank you very much. Sarah, thank you for the $1. Thank you very much. Carolyn, thank you for the $30. Thank you so much on PayPal. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the kind words. Marina, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Don't worry. I just appreciate it. Thank you. Natalie, thank you so much for the $2.50. Vanessa, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you. I'm so sorry to hear that. That's absolutely crazy. There's so many different experiences I hear about that. Ariel, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $10 as well. Thank you very much. That's very true. 9/11 sends the first available company, depending on the demand and severity of the call. True. And then Glitzy, thank you so much for the $100 on PayPal. Thank you so much. That is so kind of you. Can we get some W's for them in the comment section right now? Thank you so much. And maybe so. Thank you so much. Get some W's for them in the comment section right now. That is so kind of you. Thank you very much. Seriously, W's for them in the comment section. Alrighty, we'll give them a second to come back with the information. They might have already found that information real quick, everyone. Do give them a quick second. Yes, are you back?
Now, there was a number of things that I would say. Number one, I'm in Kentucky. In Kentucky, we have passport, so it's not just an Ohio item. I don't know people in other states that use the welfare system, so I can't really say from my own experience about that. I will admit that when the sanctions were lifted, that was the reasoning for the $150 billion of assets. But those assets were long gone, and they had to end up coming. Yeah, it was on a spreadsheet somewhere that money belonged to Iran, but it came out of our pockets.
So what was the title so I could find that information?
I have no idea. Obama and $150 billion.
Okay. I have a fact check right here. It was Iran's unfrozen assets. Yeah. Globally after sanctions relief. Yeah, that's what this says. Not an amount sent by Obama.
But those assets were
fact check from
gone.
Org as well also says it's not sent by Obama. Exactly what I said earlier is literally what the explanation is.
So now we have had to send airplanes over and spend probably several $1 billion to bomb their atomic bomb factories.
Well, didn't we do that like 6 months ago and we said we got rid of their ability to have nuclear weapons for like multiple years?
We got rid of their ability to use centrifuges to make any more, but they already had 60 kilograms of 60%. Was it 66 kilo? I don't know how many kilograms, but it was 60% uranium.
60% enriched uranium. Yeah, I know, which can be used for development of nuclear weapons. But what you're not understanding is that they were willing to give up their enriched uranium and willing to dilute it.
No, they weren't.
Yes, they were.
They were never willing.
They absolutely were. I just want to clarify. It's just that they specifically. Let me explain. Barbie, think of the galaxy, by the way. It's just that they were not willing to give up their ballistic missiles, and Israel and the United States wanted them to give up their ballistic missile program.
You're wrong. They wouldn't. When part of the deal that Obama had was we would have inspectors go in, but after we found out that they were enriching uranium to make bombs, they kicked the inspectors out and they've never been back.
So that's after Trump pulled out of the JCPOA. So that was because of Trump. We had an agreement prior to that, which led to them not leaving.
We had an agreement before Trump, but they kicked the inspectors out well before Trump ever thought about being president. Well, I don't know if he thought about it.
No, that was not true because under Trump's presidency, he signed off on it literally going well in the beginning of his administration. So it actually happened under his term.
Kick out uranium. Atom bombs.
Okay.
I'm trying to look it up.
He's using Gemini AI.
Alrighty. In the meantime, if you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. We were just looking for some debates.
Okay, it was in 2006. Was Trump president in 2006?
It was George Bush.
Okay. In 2006, they kicked out the inspection.
They did not kick them. So you're thinking a different time because the deal wasn't made until under Obama's administration.
Actually, we had an inspection deal well before that.
Okay, I'm talking about the JCPOA, which was under Obama's admin. So everything's at $5. Thank you. Like I don't know how they would have got rid of the deal that Obama made prior to Obama being in office.
So are you thinking that Iran was not trying to make nuclear weapons?
They were, but that's because of the fact that Trump tried to pull out of the nuclear enrichment deal.
Do you really
where we had
believe that?
surveillance. Yeah, I totally believe that.
Well, I think anybody who believes that probably believes in the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus. That
Nope.
you don't get
Don't
that
believe
far
in that.
along. You don't get that far along with hundreds of centrifuges and underground stations isolating uranium to make bombs in a very short time.
I have a
It takes
question.
long
How do you
time.
feel about Trump saying that the climate's going to start cooling, science just doesn't know it yet, and that climate change is a hoax when 99% of climate scientists say that he's wrong?
Well,
He thinks climate change is a hoax, I think.
yeah.
Okay, so it's talking about believing the tooth fairy is real. It sounds like that's you.
No. Were you alive in 77?
Oh yeah.
You were?
Yeah, I was
thought-
I was alive in 77, yeah.
I thought you were much younger than that.
No, he's being sarcastic.
Okay. In 1977, the newspapers, Time Magazine and Newsweek, were all talking about the global cooling problem that we had. And it was the
I don't think they
consensus
all
of
were
the
talking about
scientists.
that. But like, wait, so do you not
That's
accept what
because you weren't
scientists say?
around in 77. Look it up.
Do you not accept what scientists say to be true?
Depends on the scientist. There are as many scientists that say it's not true
Wait.
as there are that say it is.
Not true, because 99% of climate scientists say that climate change is real, it's causing global temperatures to go up, and that it's mainly caused by humans.
I'm sorry. This is a hobby of mine, and you're way off base. There are people who say they are scientists, just like
No,
just
these are
like,
climate scientists. I'm serious. There's a
just
bibliography in my
Biden's
bio where
wife
you can
was-
check out this information. This is reputable.
just like Biden's wife was a doctor. They
So
are not
by the way, what you're doing right now is exactly like what flat earthers do. So like you are the one that like does believe in the tooth fairy. You just believe that climate change isn't real. So that's why I asked this question, is because it's very painfully obvious that this is true. 99% of climate scientists indicate it to be true. Like, it's very uncommon. You're going to get 99% of scientists to agree upon something.
I believe that the climate is changing. The climate always changes.
Yeah,
We
but it's
have
mainly
isolated-
caused by humans. It's causing global temperatures to go up at a
but
rapid
that's where
rate
I
that we haven't
disagree.
seen.
Disproportionately changing. No,
Yeah.
Yes, it is. That's just a fact. Of course, it's changed throughout history. No one's disputing that. And also, different points throughout Earth's history, we didn't exist. So I don't think we want to compare it to points in which we didn't exist, you know?
Many points in Earth's history, the climate has been much warmer than it is now.
Yeah, but like
1,000
that's not for human survival though. That was like when dinosaurs existed.
No. 1,000 years ago, they were growing grapes in northern England.
What? 1,000 years ago, it was not much warmer.
Yes, it was much warmer than it is now.
Not true.
It's called the Roman warming era. Look it up.
Were you there?
Yeah, my kids think I was.
I bet. So, do you understand my point though? Like in general, or I guess maybe we can try to. What do you not understand about my points here?
No, there's global warming.
But it's
just
mainly
that
caused by humans.
No, it's not.
It is.
We've always had changes. One volcano will spew more CO2 and sulfur than man does in a year.
Okay, so you said CO2 and sulfur. So what you're understanding is that we're setting off the natural trends that existed. So although there could be like
believe that. Here's
volcanoes
what-
that do stuff and whatnot, that was a natural cycle that existed, and we set off that natural cycle.
Okay. Here's the thing that you don't realize. Yes, we are producing a lot of CO2 right now. The reality is we cannot produce more CO2 than is there. The CO2 basically comes from burning, okay? And what do we burn? We burn what we call fossil fuels, that I don't think has anything to do with fossils, but and we
It does.
burn dead plant life. And those things degrade and turn into CO2 anyway over time. Yeah, we're speeding it up some, no doubt. But the Earth is compensating for that. The Sahara Desert is turning green. Plant life needs CO2 and water. Let me
So
tell you.
so that's because people are planting trees to counteract climate change. So people are planting trees near the Sahara Desert, right? Not even in the Sahara Desert, let me be clear. Near the Sahara Desert, specifically to do so. And what you're not understanding, though, is that the evidence is very clear, okay? That the global temperature is increasing, right, is harmful towards, right, different areas' ability to grow certain types of crops, right? It's going to change the weather patterns in different areas, leading to more severe weather, which we've already seen, right? So the reality of the matter is that there's actually like worse off conditions due to climate change. And I would recommend to read into it on NASA if you don't think that there's sufficient evidence of this. There's data going back like literally a millennia that shows that there was significantly greater degrees of change right now comparative to what's existed in the last millennia.
Now, right now we have about 400 parts per million CO2 in our atmosphere, which is like 0.03%. And when I was born, it was about 0.02%, and about 290 parts per million. Yeah, we have more. But plants need carbon dioxide and water. The more carbon dioxide they have, the less water they need. And so when we increase the carbon dioxide, we make it easier for plants to thrive in drier climates. So, and that's a good thing. I think the people in Canada and Siberia are not complaining about global warming.
Okay. So you're saying plant life will do better in certain areas because of this. Well, it depends on the area. It depends on the type of plant. It depends on the environment. And what you're doing is shifting environments from what they were historically speaking to different types of environments, which means that we are now going to have an unidentifiable change, right, in plenty of different areas that we aren't going to be able to expect.
And we're going to have
And also
change
this doesn't just impact land, it also impacts the ocean. You understand the ocean increasing in temperature impacts what will survive within the ocean.
Actually, most of our oxygen and the vast majority of CO2 goes into algae in the ocean. And so, yeah,
I'm talking about
that's
the temperature. I'm talking about the temperature.
So if the ocean increases, if the ocean temperature increases, there is one thing that could be problematic.
It's not just one thing.
Well, there's one major thing that could be problematic. We haven't seen enough yet to worry about it, but the one thing that's really problematic is ocean currents in the Atlantic Ocean. We have a nice current now that goes from the south to the north. If the temperatures in the north get warm, then that current slows down. And then the ice in the north can go farther and farther south, and we can have an ice age. I don't believe that's a problem we're really worried about right now, but some people say it could be. And I see that concern.
So
I'm not
let me tell you issues. So there can be issues of coral bleaching, right? Specifically in the context of coral reefs, marine species migration due to temperature sensitive environments that they existed in and having to change based upon that. There could be sea level rise, food insecurity issues, and the increasing the prevalence of disease and spread of disease. Those are multiple different examples of things that directly come from just the ocean warming.
Right now, what you have to realize is that, generally speaking, for the last 3 million years, we have had ice ages that last approximately 100,000 years, and then we have an interglacial period that lasts, on average, 10 to 11,000 years. We're over 11,000 years right now. So I know you're going to think I'm crazy, because say he's a denier. I am much more concerned about global cooling than I am about global warming. Warming we can deal with, but when ice covers your land, it's hard to grow crops.
Okay, so what you're not understanding is that it makes it harder in plenty of different areas. Like there are going to be areas that people are going to have to move out of, engage in mass climate migration because of the fact that there's differences in changes to the environment, changing the conditions in which people are able to grow certain crops or things that they relied on, they're not able to rely on anymore. So there's many different issues like I just mentioned. All you're doing right now is you're denying what climate scientists indicate to be true. You're thinking you know better than the 99% of climate scientists because you think that the cooling is going to be more of an issue when literally no climate scientist agrees with you.
I have looked, and those people who call themselves climate scientists,
the 99% climate scientists.
No, they are not generally
yes, they are.
Climate scientists.
Yes, they are.
The real wording is 99% of scientists believe that.
It's climate scientists.
No,
it is. You can literally look at the bibliography in my bio, bro.
It's not climate scientist.
You want to click on it? Go check. Take a look.
I can't right now because I'm talking.
He doesn't know what that means. He doesn't use TikTok.
Yeah, I don't even use
I meant, obviously, I meant like so that you can later. Like
I'll tell him to do
literally,
that
it's verifiable information that you can just click on, right?
I'll tell him to do that later.
just like
Okay.
Al Gore's hockey stick, or Mr. Mann's hockey stick, which is a fake, totally lie. He got sued and lost. He's the climate scientist that this is all based on.
Okay, so no, it's not just
You
one
need
climate
it.
scientist. Look up later. Look up 99% climate scientists indicate that climate change is mainly caused by humans.
Now, I will look it up. So you have a site where I can email you?
No, I do not.
Oh, I can't send you a message somehow?
I guess you can write this down. It's parkergetabusiness@gmail.com. No spaces.
Parker what?
Parkergetabusiness with no spaces.
Okay.
No capital @gmail.com.
I just clarified to the chat that I don't support Trump.
Yeah.
That's my grandson. He doesn't like it.
I'm still gonna get like 500 comments on my comments.
Yeah, you still will. I apologize.
ParkerGetABusiness@gmail.com. It's been fun talking to you, but I don't think we're going anywhere. But I will send you some information if you'd like to read it.
Shift the conversation about Trump. I don't know how you guys got to climate.
Yeah, we can have plenty more we can talk about. The broader point that I wanted to bring up with that is that, I mean, he denies science, so you can't say like we're the basis of doing that. Secondly, I think it's incredibly important to acknowledge that Donald Trump, his policy disenfranchises working people, makes us less healthy, makes us worse off, taxes working class people to a greater extent, and reduces tax burden on the very rich and wealthiest individuals, things like that.
Yeah, right now I think there are 750,000 more people working in private jobs right now than they were when Trump took office. And that's generally speaking, the unemployment rate hasn't changed very much, but that's amazing considering how many people that Trump has let go out of the government. So they have managed to get jobs somewhere else.
So I'm confused what you're just trying to say. You're just trying to say people will get jobs since Trump's got in office, we've seen the worst year of job growth in the past 4 years.
No, that's not true. That's
It
way
is
untrue.
true. Do you want me to show you? I'll put it on the screen.
Non-government job growth.
Yeah, I'm talking about both.
No, don't talk about growth. Government jobs are made up jobs in a lot of ways.
What? No, if you look at overall job growth, so it's not even mostly government jobs. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, let me compare you or show you the comparison. Let me bring up the graph by month. Sorry, here we go. I'll show you right now. It's actually ridiculous because we've seen significantly worse off job growth since Trump got in office.
I don't know what reports you're looking at, but that's just totally
from the Bureau
untrue.
of Labor Statistics.
Well, when I look at those statistics, I see something entirely different.
What do you see here?
I'm looking on a kid's phone, so let me look here. See if that one is bad.
This is when Biden was in office, right here.
Where?
This is since Trump's got in office.
Okay, so where it was below the line, where was that?
What? You mean right here?
Where the graph goes below the line. I can't tell what you're pointing at.
Oh, those are it's graphing two separate things. That might confuse you.
Okay, you're saying the red line is going down.
Don't look at the red line. That's just telling you what unemployment is while we see job growth at this level. So you see unemployment slightly increasing while you see job growth going down.
Okay, but the red line is unemployment?
Don't look at the red line. Red line is completely irrelevant to you right now.
Why is it
the green line's
if it's unemployment?
Because it's just a point to show you what's happening to unemployment when we see job growth going down. Okay.
Well, if
so
unemployment is going down,
isn't
that a good thing?
Unemployment's going up.
Looks like it's going down.
This is going up. It clearly is going up.
From when?
From 2023, even from 2024, it's gone up.
It's going up, yeah. But at the end of 25, it looks like it starts going down.
So you said the end of 2025, it started going down. You mean right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's since Trump's administration. So this is when Trump's still in office.
So,
but you understand that what you're not taking into consideration is that the last month we saw, which by the way isn't even added in here, this is up until January, and these numbers were actually revised down for January. February showed that we lost 92,000 jobs, so unemployment increased again. So technically this is 1 month behind from what the data we already have.
Let me tell you, we started this conversation about Trump. I'm thrilled that Mr. Trump is stopping people who would fly airplanes into our business towers.
Wait, come on. Can you address this point of job growth real quick? Do you see a massive decline?
I don't. Yeah, but that decline has been going for a long time, it looks like.
What do you mean?
Well, it starts, what, 2011 or 21, your graph?
Parker, is there a chart for February that you can show?
For the new sources that just came out? The new
Yeah,
job losses? Yeah, I can show him the new job losses. 92,000 jobs lost.
Show him like evidence for that.
Comparison to a year ago.
So this is over the
What are
last
the
month in
private sector-
February.
What are the private sector jobs in February a year ago compared to this year?
Yeah, that would be just comparing to Trump's administration still. So I don't know why we'd be comparing to Trump's
Well,
admin.
but it's just barely Trump administration.
Do you see? U.S. lost a surprising 92,000 jobs last month.
Yeah, but what was it the month before?
It was, let me read it for you. For the month prior, it was 126,000, which was the highest job that they've had so far.
So then they adjusted it down. Okay. These job numbers are not very meaningful right now since over time, there are more jobs in the private sector than there were a year ago. But we started having a conversation about Trump. And one of the things that Trump has done most recently that everybody is aware of is that he's flown planes into Iran and killed the leadership in Iran and is dramatically reducing their ability to make atomic bombs and rockets. And by doing that, that means there will be less gay people who are thrown off of buildings if we get rid of that group of people. There will be less women who forget to wear a hijab who have to go to prison. There will be less people who are willing to strap on a vest and walk into a restaurant and blow themselves up.
Hey, dude. I don't think that Trump is reducing terror around the world. I think, if anything, U.S. intervention around the world has caused more. Right, especially U.S. intervention within Iran. It's led to more radical Islam being prevalent. It's led to more being spread around the world. That's just a fact. U.S. intervention has not led to more stability.
This is a fact. Which country promotes in the world?
The U.S.
Oh, come on.
And Israel.
Iran is promoting.
I don't dispute that either. I also agree that Iran supports and promotes. But so does the U.S. and Israel.
Okay. What do we support?
Yeah, like literally what's going on with Iran. They bombed a schoolgirl, sorry, a girls' school. Sorry, I can't speak.
Yeah, I heard that, but I heard that that was false information and it wasn't true.
You really should wait a little bit longer to determine what's factual.
We know that there was a U.S. investigation indicating it was the U.S., and Trump lied about it and said it was Iran.
It's a U.S. bomb.
Yeah, but it wasn't a school necessarily. But we'll find out.
It was a school.
Yeah. Who do you think blows up more civilians, Iran or U.S.?
So is that not a civilian area?
Who does more civilian deaths, U.S. or Iran?
Yeah, Iran has killed more of their civilians so far, right?
They killed 30,000 demonstrators. They killed 32,000 demonstrators a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we might have killed, maybe, in that school. They said there was 200 girls' school in that school. Maybe we killed 200. I don't know.
And by the way, that's not considering all of the U.S.'s involvement within Iran. Like, that's just only considering
the U.S.
recently.
killed those kids on purpose? They targeted those kids?
Well, I do think that it's very weird that they're not coming out and saying that they made a mistake if that was true. And I wonder why it would be the case that it was such a directed missile attack and they shot a second missile if it was the case that it wasn't intentional.
Trump doesn't admit mistakes, so that's...
Trump doesn't admit mistakes. That's an issue.
That's what he said.
Correct.
And what president do you know that does?
I think that Biden would admit mistakes. I think that Harris would admit mistakes when they consider them to be.
Okay. What mistake have they admitted?
Yeah. So I think that they have clearly admitted a mistake specifically in conducting the election in the way in which they did. I think that Biden has talked about how and again, especially Harris has talked about how she specifically has disagreements with how she conducted herself or how she was able to, especially in terms of how the Biden administration defended her.
You have bad strategy in
so
election.
let me clarify. Like where you can find this information is. Let me wait before you speak over me. I'm just telling you this because I'm telling you this that you can find this information in her book. She wrote a book about this and how she thinks this way.
Well, I don't, in my opinion, there's no comparison between Kamala Harris and President Trump. or Joe Biden and President Trump. There's just no comparison. They're
Yeah,
on different
Biden's
pages.
so much better.
Well, it's really getting deep around here, and I don't like to over my shoes, so I'm going to leave this conversation, okay? You have a good day.